Sorry.
Would you want to say something about the result just to get started?
The result. Well, first off, congratulations to Motagua. That was a really challenging series, and they pushed us in a lot of ways. So a very good opponent. Um, the result was us advancing. There were some things we did well. There were some things that I think we could have done better, but that's every game. I was pleased with some minutes that some guys had. A couple firsts with Amir on his birthday. It's unfortunate that he had to come off with the injury, but he had a really strong game. Who else? I'm missing another first there. Kenji. And I thought his minutes were really strong as well. It'd have been nice to see him finish off that last play. Really creative turn there, but the defender makes a really good block. But no, I'm very pleased that we're advancing.
How concerned were you at 1-0, and what did you think of the response?
I wouldn't say concerned, but at the same time, you give the opponent life and momentum in that moment to feel like they're back in it, and that was disappointing to not find the first goal because I think that would have been impactful. But response was good. We end up getting the next goal, which is important. Kevin does a good job, with how he takes that touch on the move. Great ball from Corey. It starts with Brian, stepping up and winning the ball. But, that gets us into halftime in a way where we knew we wanted to manage some minutes and needed to trust guys to come in and close it out. And, I think we accomplished that.
Pat, yesterday you said there was a desire to win. It ends up being a draw, but you get the job done. How hard is it to kind of decipher the takeaways from this game, given the kind of mixed emotion of what that might feel like?
It's not hard. The result's the result, and we advance. But there was still, a lot of good things. We're still looking to push fitness, work on relationships, I think, with, Evander and Kevin, getting the minutes together. That's important because they're going to be so important for us moving forward. And you see, obviously, Kevin with a goal, but, Evander's creativity. We found a lot of ways to get him on the ball in dangerous spots with a team that was sitting in, and I think that's what we need to continue to do. There was even a couple moments where we bypass him. Let's get him on the ball because he's the creator for us. And you saw it on Amir does a good job to find a cutback ball and his awareness to leave it for Corey. That would have been a nice goal. Continuing to get those two working together is important. And, I think Gilberto comes in the second half for Miles. He was strong again. He looks the part right now, and I know it's early, but I like what I've seen from him. So I would say defensively for a majority of the game, there was plenty of good things. We struggled with defending crosses over the course of the two legs, so that's something we'll talk about. With the ball, maybe just a little bit of creativity that was missing to be able to break them down because they were defending in a good way. And in the moments where I think we needed to change the speed and the tempo, we missed, we missed doing that and it allowed them to recover. And it was tough to break them down, but there was still enough chances there to score goals, which is hard to do. So those are a couple of things that stand out.
Brian Anunga makes the start and wears the captain's armband in the second half. You praised him in preseason. What have you seen early from him, and how important has he been for you?
But he's a leader on the field. You see it in training. You see it in the game. Doesn't matter that he's been with us a short amount of time. He holds people accountable. He trains and plays the game the right way. So I really like what he's brought to our group and how he pushes, whether it's guys ahead of him, guys next to him. He sets an example with his day-to-day. And he's always looking for solutions too, and I like that. He's not waiting for a coach to tell him what to do. He wants to solve problems out there, and you see him all the time talking with Obi. He's talking with Kevin, with Evander, Pavel. And then even the back line of different ways with the ball to find solutions. So, he had the captain's armband because he's a leader, and that's not to discredit or take away anything from the guys that have been here. I just felt in that moment he could be a good captain for us in the second half.
Coach, good evening. Gus Ochoa from Indy Locker Room, Indianapolis. Motagua's coach was sharing with us that he feels this competition is kind of made more in these stages for the MLS and the Liga MX. They try to compete their best, but again, he feels that it is more made for you guys to compete between both leagues. Do you share what he shared with us about the thoughts he had with us? And speaking of Liga MX, you're facing a Liga MX rival next, which is Tigres.
Do I share that feeling? Without knowing, his words, and I know you're, kind of giving me some context there. I don't want to comment too much on it. I think they're in a part of their season similar to Liga MX, where not everybody has the same playing field as far as when we arrive into this competition, but they have a strong team and they deserve to be here. We'll try to control what we can control, and that's who's our opponent. And, let's first get into the competition and then figure out from there how we have success within it. So I don't have much to say on that. I'm excited for us to face the next challenge in this competition, and that's Tigres, who we know will be our next difficult opponent.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Buenas noches, profe. Felicidades porque se clasifica a la siguiente ronda. El resultado 4-1 de la ida le dio oportunidad a usted para probar nuevos jugadores. ¿Cómo sale con el rendimiento de ellos esta noche?
Coach, the 4-1 result in the first leg gave you the chance to see some new faces tonight. How would you evaluate overall the rotation and the new faces you saw tonight?
Yeah, it's always challenging when you have, I would say roughly half the group being changed. It's sometimes you see a dip in form, despite the trust and despite, being confident that your group can go out and look the same. This is the first minutes for some of these guys, and you can see, maybe a drop off in some moments, but the approach going into it from the individuals that were coming on, and I think the collective was something I'm pleased about. But for a couple of the, younger guys, this is a good wake-up call in some ways for this is when it matters. This is when it's real. You need to step up and perform. And like I said before the game, this isn't charity. I think guys deserved it, but now we get a chance to evaluate them in a real game. And I think some guys pass the test. Some guys, still aren't there, and that's okay. That's part of development. Guys like Stefan, who, you can see he's going against more physical, probably faster defenders, and how the speed of thought matters and the movement to create separation matters. These are going to be good lessons for Stefan. I thought Amir was up to the test tonight. Competes in a really good way, did some good things with the ball that we haven't seen in a ton of in preseason. So I was pleased, really pleased with Amir tonight. So, those are a couple of the guys that, stand out in terms of, the good and bad of what you evaluate from these games.
Last question.
Yeah, Coach, Evan Schibel with Cincinnati City Beat here. Do you have any sort of messaging towards the fans, with the importance of these games as you move on here in this tournament, despite the, Wednesday 6:30 kickoff times, obviously hard for a lot of people to make? Do you have any messaging for them?
We hope to see a lot of them in the stands on Tuesday. It's not easy. You got, working, parents and parents, that have to look after their kids. And so it's not easy on a Tuesday night to see a packed house. I understand that. So we hope to see as many as we can because we know, the energy and the passion is there. It's, scheduling sometimes makes it difficult to see TQL sold out. So however many are in the stadium, we know that the energy will be there and they'll understand the importance of their support against a very good team in a big moment for our club.